Want to get the new Mac OS Tahoe look on your Windows PC? Then this video will blow your mind. From the sleek new glass menus to the classic Mac OS dock, we're changing everything. We spent days searching for the perfect tools to match the new Magic Glass aesthetic and macOS functionality. From an incredibly fast spotlight-like search tool to custom glass-like widgets, Mac OS style minimized buttons, transparency effects, and icons, we'll change every little detail of Windows to give you the perfect macOS feel. Even the cursor gets an upgrade. And the best part, we put in the extra work to give you both a paid and a free option. And with our guide, everything will be set up in no time. By the way, we're Unknown Tech and we've already made tons of customization videos, so you're in good hands. Now let's start with the classic macOS controls and transparency effects. We will install DWM Blur Glass for this translucent effect, and additionally we will get a custom Windows theme for those colorful control buttons in the mouse cursors. By the way, the assets for this video can also be found on my Discord server. For the theme, you will have to patch your system. Because of this, we recommend you to set a restore point so you can always go back to a working system with ease. To create a restore point, open the Windows search menu and type restore, and then select this app here. In this menu, make sure that protection is turned on for all of your drives. If one is missing, you can click on configure here and enable it. To actually set the restore point, click on create. A window will appear where you can enter a name for your restore point. After that, simply click create again to confirm. With that out of the way, let's download the Ultra UX Theme Patcher tool, which you can get from this site, linked in the description. By the way, we checked every app with our antivirus, so you don't need to worry. Double click the file in your downloads to start the installation. Then just keep on clicking next and everything will be installed easily. But we're not done yet. Now we'll download the actual theme from the website linked in the description. By the way, you can also get all the links and more detailed information to this setup on our website, so check that out. Here, click download to get the theme now. After that, open the folder in your downloads, go to Windows themes and copy everything by clicking on the cut tool here. Then just navigate to the resources folder, which is inside your Windows directory. Now go into themes and paste the code there. To apply the theme, go into your settings and navigate to the appearance settings. In there, click on themes, and now we can finally apply the theme. Just click here. Now we have these really unique Mac OS style minimized control buttons, plus an amazing Apple-like mouse cursor, which already creates a strong Mac OS feeling, but the signature transparency effect is still missing. To get this super cool effect, we need to head to this GitHub repo to install a tool called DWM Blur Glass. You can find a link to the page in the video description. Now if you're on the GitHub page, you need to head to the releases page, which you can access by clicking here. On this page, scroll to the bottom and download this file. After the download, you get a zip file, so let's extract the files from it. Just go into your download folder and right-click the folder. Then click here on Extract All and select the folder where you want to save the files. We recommend you to create a new folder for all the tools of this video. To finish the installation, run the .exe file inside the app files. Don't worry about this message, it's just because the tool is not from a big developer, but as I said, it's nothing to worry about. Just click on more info and run it anyway. This will automatically open a menu where you can change some settings of the app. But before we proceed with the setup, you need to do two really important steps. First, hit install on the top of the menu. Then click on symbol here and also hit install in this menu. Now let's just quickly fix some settings to improve the effect. Toggle blur radius on and then move it to 50. After that, go in the advanced tab and change the effect type by clicking here and selecting arrow. Now just save the settings here. With those tools, you will have amazing Magic Glass like transparency and the classic Mac OS buttons, which is already really cool. Now speaking about performance, these changes will cost you only a mere 0.16% of CPU and like 10 megabytes of RAM, which is pretty good. With that done, we also need to change all of your normal Windows icons to fit to the new Mac OS style. As you can see, these icons are not the newest icons, but it's as close as it can get and the setup is actually super simple. Just go to this website linked in the description and download this tool called Windhawk. After that, run the .exe file, press OK here and click next until you are in this menu. For the installation folder, we advise to choose a separate folder for every tool. Now just hit install and it's done. When everything is finished, the app will open automatically. As you can see, there are a lot of tools available here and we will use some later, but for now go to the Explorer and search for resource redirects. Now click on details and hit install. You can ignore this message as the tool is from GitHub and was checked by the community there. After that, go to settings and under theme choose the dark mode macOS icons. Then just save the settings to apply the icons. This will probably open a message where it says that the icon cache will be cleared. Just accept that and let the tool do its thing. Now almost all of your icons should have transformed into a Mac OS style, which is really cool. Performance wise, this has literally almost no impact, as you can see. But of course, for the full Tahoe feel, we will need the new wallpapers. This small change already makes a huge impact, as you can clearly see. Before we change anything, let's just also quickly clean up your messy desktop by right-clicking it and then navigating to View and then clicking on Hide Desktop Icons. With that out of the way, head to this website also linked under the video, where you can find all the new Mac OS Tahoe wallpapers. Click on this Google Drive link and download the picture with this button. After that, go into your downloads and right click the image, then simply choose set as desktop background and we are done. As you can see, it already looks a lot more macOS like with this wallpaper. But now let's get to the real highlight of this video, the Mac OS dock and top bar. This tool will mimic literally everything from the icons and zoom effect in the taskbar to the translucent top bar with the Tahoe-like windows. Even the launchpad is still available here, and they did not forget about the classic minimize animation. I am talking about my dock finder, which you can find on Steam, and it only costs you $5, which is really great value if you ask me. After you have bought the app, go to your Steam library and install the tool. Here just choose your drive and hit install. Now you can just hit play to start the setup. First things first, let's get rid of the old taskbar. For that, just go to the top left corner and click on Explorer. This will open a menu where you need to click Hide Taskbar. With it out of the way, open the settings by right-clicking the dock and then navigate to Preferences. Under General, you can choose your boot option. The more stars, the higher the priority. Now let's change the settings to match the new Tahoe look better. For that, just go to Appearance and check Make Dock Use Custom Blur. Here, move both values to something like 10. Now scroll further down to the context menu settings and apply the same values. Next, do the same thing in those settings for the menus. Last, go to the Finder section in the Appearance settings and this time move all values to 0. Now the blur is better, but we are still missing the Tahoe icons. To get them, scroll all the way down in the Appearance menu and click on this menu and then on Workshop. This opens a new menu where you have to go to Icons. Here you have a whole selection of icons. For the Tahoe ones, click here and then on Subscription and then on this icon. There should now be this loading circle at the top. When it's done, go to Installed, click on the Tahoe icons, and then here again, and then hit OK to finish everything. This already looks pretty great if you ask me, but let's change some more effects. First, go to Window Animation and activate Opening Animation. I like this effect, so I chose this, but there are also a ton of other effects. You can also get a close animation here. Let's choose this one. To make the scaling animation better, go to Look and Behavior and drag the icon size to somewhere around 100 and the scaling to something like 120. Now this looks a lot smoother in my opinion. Right now when you open up the Launchpad, it says that there are no apps. To change that, go to Launchpad here and open the Icons menu. Then just select the last option, which will add all of your Start menu apps. If you are like me, you probably don't like this weird preview windows. To remove them, go to the Minimize effect and enable Minimize to Dock. No, just right, click the dock and hit Refresh Dock to see the change. Lastly, let's finish it out by getting the Apple logo for the top bar. Go back to Look and Behavior and click on the My Finder icon. Then click Choose File and choose the Apple logo, which I will put on our Discord. With the dock and top bar, your PC should already look pretty Mac-like, but we are far from done. By the way, if you want to pin an app to the taskbar just right, click it and hit Keep in Dock. The performance of the app is not crazy good with 1.95% of CPU usage and 44 megabytes of RAM usage, but for what the app does, it's pretty solid, and on idle, it uses almost no resources. Now, as promised, I will also show you a free alternative for my dock finder. We will use two tools for that, but it will still offer the same features like a translucent top bar with user-friendly menus and a dock-like taskbar. Let's start with the taskbar, for which we will use Windhawk again. So open up the app now. Again, go into the Explore tab and get the taskbar styler. Like before, click Install and ignore the message. Before we continue in Windhawk, we actually need some custom code for this mod, which you can find on our website on the bottom of the blog post to this video. After you got the zip file downloaded, open it up and then open the .txt file with your notepad. Copy the code and then go into Advanced in the Windhawk settings. Now just paste the code here and hit Save. To transform your start menu to the Magic class look, head to the Start Menu styler here. Then download the tool like before. When you got it installed, navigate to the settings and under Themes, choose Translucent and then don't forget to save the settings, of course. To finish the Magic Glass look, let's also transform your Notifications menu. Just click on the Notifications styler here and hit Install again. Also go into the settings and this time choose Matter for the theme and of course save the settings. Now for the classic Mac OS dock, we will use Rainmeter with DropTop 4. First get Rainmeter from this site linked under the video. After you got the files, go to the downloads and run the installer. The install is super easy. Click Next here and then install, and that's it. With Rainmeter installed, we can get DropTop 4 from this site, also linked in the description. Here choose Basic and then click that you have Rainmeter already. Then head into your downloads and run the file. Now this window will open up where you have to click on Install. This will automatically start the installation. On the first page, click Continue. Then choose English as your language and enable desktop only here. Here choose your device and in this area type in your weather locations. For the theme, of course, get the Mac OS design. To finish the setup, click here and then finish setup. Now it's time to change the look so it fits more to the new Mac OS design. First, let's make the menus more transparent. For that, click on the icon in the top left corner. Then navigate to color and opacity. First deactivate set color by wallpaper. Then click on top bar background and move all colors to 0. After that, go to drop down background and move the opacity there to 20. Next, go into options, then on blur, and there on toggle top bar blur. As the last step, go to set home icon, enable monochrome icons, and then go to the product logos. Here you can activate the Apple logo. If you ask me, that looks very Apple-like now, even without the paid tool. The top bar also looks spot on with its translucent style, and the taskbar also looks quite Mac-like, even though it's not a real dock. For performance, it's pretty similar to my dock finder with 2.3% of CPU usage and round about 180 megabytes of RAM usage. Besides the tools I showed you here, there are even more Mac OS like mods for Rainmeter, like this clock from Jack's Core and those Monterey widgets. We have already shown them in other videos, so feel free to check them out there. With the dock and top bar now installed, the final steps become much easier, but just as exciting. We've still got the sleek widgets and the powerful spotlight style search tool to explore. But before we install that, let's add the transparency effect to the File Explorer. Personally, I really like this feature, but if it's not your thing, feel free to skip this step. The mod is called Explorer Blur Mica, and you can get it from this GitHub repo linked in the description. Go to the releases here and download this zip file. In the downloads, right click the folder and click on extract. Again, extract all the files in a new folder. Now open the releases and run the registered.cmd file. Again, don't worry about this message, the tool is open source, check to be safe. After a bit of loading, you can now enjoy this very unique blur effect in your File Explorer. Since this tweak only adjusts a parameter in the Explorer settings, it doesn't really affect performance. However, you might notice that File Explorer takes slightly longer to open the first time. Until now, the desktop was pretty empty, so let's also get some of those classic Apple-like desktop widgets. With those widgets, you will have access to the weather information system, performance, and much more. The widget application is called uWidgets, and you can also get them from a GitHub repo linked under the video. Just scroll down and download this zip folder. In your downloads, right-click the folder and click extract. As always, choose a new folder for the files to be extracted in. Now open up the files and run the .exe file to install the tool. As before, this pop-up will open, but you can ignore it again. After that, the app opens automatically and you can choose this glass theme for the widgets. Under general, it's important to make sure that you activate the run on startup function. Now let's get this version of the calendar widget, this system performance widget, a reminder widget, plus this weather widget. To change the size, right click and then choose your size. For this setup, choose middle. Now just arrange the widgets like I did here. If you ask me, this adds a lot to your home screen and it even provides some useful infos, which is a big pro. Now looking at the performance, we notice that it's quite efficient CPU wise, but with over 100 megabytes of RAM usage, it's a bit on the performance heavy side, but nothing to worry. Last but not least, let's get that amazing spotlight, like search tool. Not only does it look like the new Mac OS search tool, but it's also just an incredible productive tool perfect for multitasking. With this, you will find any file in just seconds. We will use an app called Flow Launcher, and you can download it from this page, which is of course in the description. Click download and choose the installer here. Then run the installer and again ignore this message. After a short setup process, the settings will be open, or you manually open them like this. By the way, you can use Alt plus space to open the search menu instantly. First, make sure the app runs on startup and then head to the appearance settings. Now click on theme and choose the white blur style. After that, change the blur to acrylic. This will give you that macro style look. Before we take a look at the final setup, we'll install the Everything plugin for this tool, which will supercharge its file search capabilities. First, go to plugins in the settings and open the Explorer menu. Here, click on General and set those settings to everything. Now when you are searching, you see this error message. Just click on it and choose no here to install everything. The plugin will open automatically after that. Click on Tools and then on Options to get to this menu. Here, make sure it runs at startup. With that, the setup is finished, and you now have a search menu just like on Mac OS that files every little file in seconds. Truly amazing. Performance-wise, this is definitely on the heavy side, with over 3% of CPU usage and almost 400 megabytes of RAM usage on average. However, keep in mind when you done search for something, the CPU usage literally drops to 0. But if you ask me, the performance drawback is really not that bad compared to the insane usability you get from the tool. Looking at all the tools now, you get the perfect Mac OS setup mimicking literally everything. From the classic dock to typical Mac-like control buttons to even the spotlight search, you get everything and you don't even have to pay something. I hope you could find some useful tools to create your own macOS look, and if you need any help, feel free to join the Discord. Now if you found the video helpful, please consider a like and a sub.